reports, and they weren't happy because they weren't getting paid to make out these reports. So we've been hearing discord since 2020, that this group wasn't happy with the existing chief, and now they changed chiefs, and they're not happy with the new chief. It's that cluster of men that seem to be the problem, not, I mean, and Mark Labonte and Jamie both were very good chiefs, but Jamie took a full-time position in Hebron. You can't serve two masters and serve them well. I just feel that Mark, last spring when we had that last storm and we had washouts, Hebron had washouts, there was no way he could service both of us and fulfill duties that I just don't feel as though he can serve us both and do them well.
There's another comment from the public.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know Mark any better than I know Jamie. I know that I've met them both getting permits and down at the fire station and doing stuff. To me, it's not about the personality. I want to know the qualifications of the person that's in charge of our fire department for this town. The volunteer fire department. What are the qualifications?
It's an on-call. It's an on-call. There's an on-call paid per call.
It's still a
2 years we've been arguing
volunteer.
that.
No, it's not a volunteer department. It's quite clear, it's a pay per call.
Yeah, they get paid when they go on, but the point is,
Right.
it's still people having to step forward to do it. Okay?
Correct,
It's still a volunteer, what you can change it any way you want to semantically. It's a volunteer fire department. We rely on the citizens to come forward and help.
Absolutely.
But there's certifications. We don't just send any Joe Smoke that shows up into a fire. They have to be certified. They have to be trained.
For insight, there's different certifications and different levels of certification.
You're absolutely right.
Correct.
And it starts at the top. If the chief is not qualified with a certification, how are the guys below him gonna look at that?
We were relying on that he had 25 years of experience.
That doesn't mean, I got 50 years experience of electrician, but I'm not certified in the state of New Hampshire because I work for the federal government. That does not, if he is the fire chief, he needs to be certified. He needs to attend courses that give him a certification and a standing. That's my opinion, as a taxpayer.
And not a course from 25 years ago.
No.
So,
But, I'm sorry, first, Paul had a comment.
I was here on the meeting that Jamie was here that Tuesday, and there were 4 people that literally said to the selectmen, this is what we're doing whether you like it or not, and they were resigning. Period. End of discussion. I was in one of those chairs over there. Secondly, after that meeting, I went and called their fire association. And technically, Mark is certified. Mark is qualified because of the selectmen are the ones that give dictation of what the qualifications are. So if you have any questions on that, it's these 3 here that give the dynamics of what the qualifications they want their fire chief to have. Whether he has a certification or not to show, like Jamie stood up there and said, I have 35 here and Mark only has 1 here, it's public record. Yes, it is public record. I did go and I asked. And a comment was made that all the surrounding towns don't want to call Hill for their services. That's not true. The comment that was made over there is not true, because I called every single department and they were like, what are you talking about? We never ever said that. We never ever implied that. We encouraged Hill to be part of our apparatus and helping. So it's all gossip within the departments of fire department. When one person works at one department and is a volunteer at another department, it's all gossip. It's like high school girls in high school.
Well,
So-
that's insulting girls in high school, but.
Well, it is, but
I-
it's the true fact. So the criteria revolves around here.
And
What
that's-
they have as, what they want for a chief to have, it's up to them. And
And
then we have to follow with that,
And
not
If
and I
if I
don't
could-
disagree with that, but we should have a standard.
But
You
that's
got a
up to
police
these
chief
three.
that's gotta be certified,
That's up to these
the
three.
fire department, the fire chief should have a state certification.
Just to answer I'm sorry, I'm gonna let Bruce was actually next.
So I'm impartial to this, I just want to read the law as it was brought up. And this relates to section 154.5 of the RSA. Specifically for fire ward, engineers, or fire chief. The law states, section 1, the chief fire ward, engineer, or fire chief who is appointed rather than elected in any town, village, district, precinct, city, or area shall be appointed for an indefinite period of time or for a definitive time, as determined by the legislative body. And the tenure of office shall depend on good conduct and efficiency. The fire chief, fire engineer shall be technically qualified by training or experience and shall have the ability to command firefighters and hold their respect and confidence. That is the law.
That's what I just said.
And that's, yeah,
That's
both,
what
but I
I
mean,
just said.
that's the actual RSA.
Yeah.
He's giving you the actual
Yeah.
chapter and verse. And we read that on July 9th. So it is by experience.
How did you miss the last line then? How did you miss the last line?
To hold their respect.
Yeah,
Uh,
I gotta say that's the biggest issue right now. The qualifications standard that you responded to was, they don't have one, state doesn't have one. Okay, you guys also said he didn't have a job description, so he can go ahead and write his own and you would approve it. Where was that?
No,
Where
that's
was
not
that?
exactly true. There is a job description, and we do approve it.
Where?
That was, he dropped off a binder of stuff.
It's been approved.
That's
We
what
haven't
that's,
reviewed it and we haven't approved it.
I'm sorry, Paul, that was, Paul,
Go
good.
ahead.
No, good, it's good. I agree.
I just want to bring up one other point. Since I've been in town, we've had 6 fire chiefs, maybe 7. Well, when I was on the department, I served under 3 fire chiefs. Chip Fredette, Jim Morey, Matt DeRocher. Then I left the department, D. Ford came on, Jamie Moulton, and then Mark Blante. I don't know for sure, but I will make this statement. What were these other fire chiefs qualified? I know we don't know. But I know for 3 of them that they were highly qualified, firefighter 1, firefighter 2, when they took chief's position. I know that because I served under them. Jim Morey was firefighter 1, firefighter 2, was taking his EMT course when he suffered a major emergency, medical emergency in the department. It was saved by EMTs on the department that Saturday morning when he had that problem. So have we set a precedent that we already have been hiring guys that are certified? And now all of a sudden, we don't need to have them certified anymore. You don't have to have firefighter 1, firefighter 2, no names, no nothing. You know,
Yeah,
and then the other thing is, do we have a fire department? Is it a viable fire department?
I would say yes, but
You don't
I'm
know.
sorry.
As a selectman, you need to know,
I agree.
and you don't.
The department is on the verge of collapse. I make no qualms about that. We don't have, Mark Labonte was the only one who was willing to step up to be chief.
Jamie Moulton was.
That, again, we had all 5 officers say they were going to resign if he stayed chief.
And
When
then
did they
4
say
out
that?
of those,
Huh?
4 out of the 6
He resigned.
took exactly the same position and said, either Mark is not the chief and Jamie's remade the chief, or they're not gonna continue.
That's-
Shauna, hey look.
Jamie,
I
no,
don't agree
when
with-
Steve and Joe were here, they didn't say anything about Jamie.
Don't
They
go into the
said if
non-public.
Mark,
Don't go into the non-public. You know better.
There was no.
no, when they were sitting right here at a public meeting.
They did, they did, yeah.
Steve
they
and
did.
Joe at a public
Yep.
meeting sat right there
Yep.
and told us
Yep,
that they were gonna resign if,
I sat right behind Joe.
and they never said anything about Jane.
Yep,
But they sat in another meeting recently, which, Paul, they were supporting Jamie. Jamie sat right there where Chief is,
That was,
said all his qualifications, put them all out on the table, and they were sitting right here supporting him.
Yeah, but look at
Why
their
why are we
integrity, they
lowering
go
our
left and right
standards?
with the
We should
wind.
we should be elevating them instead of lowering them.
I want to talk about, I had a conversation with Jamie about this before coming down here. I've talked with him a couple of different times. I told him the thing that I didn't approve of was that Jamie had the opportunity, he was the chief. And he and Mark were going at it head to head during a meeting, and Jamie said, okay, I'm gonna submit my resignation. Mark got up and shook his hand on the way out the door. Okay, and I said to Jamie, why? Where's the leadership in that, Jamie? You had the position and you gave it up. So now what do you want to do about it? And his response was, Charlie, it was a mistake. It was a mistake. I regret it. It's a mistake I made. I never should have done it. When I walked out the door and Mark shook my hand, I felt like degraded by him shaking my hand and pretty much saying, thanks for getting out of the way. Okay? And I said, all right, Jamie, I can accept that. You know what? You admit you made a mistake. What are you going to do about it now, though? And he says, now, whether they make me the chief or not, the town deserves better. And that's what I agree with. The town does deserve better. All of us taxpayers, not just here in the village, but everybody deserves better. You know what our ISO rating is for the town right now? Your homeowner's insurance based on your ISO rate. You know what the Hill ISO rate is right now? 0. That's the highest risk for homeowners policy. Anybody who hasn't already got your letter, if you don't know, your homeowners policy stands to go through the roof because our ISO rating is 0.
Well, according to my insurance agent, because we are a call company, department, we have, and if there's, it doesn't matter, there's a hydrant right out beside my house. We're a call